Mawdryn Undead. This is Doctor Who, the fifth Doctor, Peter Davison. We've got Nyssa, we've got Tegan, who are both great in this episode. We have the Brigadier, who is one of my favorite characters of anything, of all shows, everything. I put him up there with the likes of like a Spock. My favorite character is Avon, of course, Kerr Avon from Blake 7. But Brigadier is absolutely great. Every time I see him, I literally get emotional. You know, when you watch those fake shill video reactions, they're like, oh my God, and they're crying about crap. That actually, well, it doesn't happen that badly because I'm a human being, and I'm not paid. But I get choked up. I was like, oh man, it's the Brigadier, right? It's one of the reasons that I love the Pertwee era so much. Brigadier is back. 2 Brigadiers. We got a 6-7 year differential Brigadier. We got a little slightly older Brigadier. We got a younger Brigadier. And we have the first appearance of Turlough, who's actually a very interesting character. I love this episode. We're going to go through my categories. There's not much need to do it, but we're going to go through them anyways, just because that's how it's done on my channel. The storyline, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 2. Perfect score for the storyline. Some people think this might be slightly confusing, but not me. I think it flows perfectly. So there's these aliens who wanted to be immortal, just like everybody else wants to be immortal. Well, they started to mess around with the Time Lord technology, and they effed themselves pretty badly. And they are aging and not dying and getting all messed up, and they can kind of regenerate a little bit, but then they just go back to aging, and it totally sucks. So basically, it sucks. They wanted to be immortal, and now it sucks. So they want to die because it's boring. Like they're watching. There's a lot, all their great shows that they've watched and loved growing up have now turned to garbage. And they just don't want to be around for it anymore. All right, so they need the Doctor. However, there is 8 of them. And if the Doctor uses his Time Lord energy to effectively end them, he's going to end himself because he doesn't have that many regenerations. We haven't gotten to that episode. Was that the Time of the Doctor? I can't remember the name of it with Matt Smith, which I did like. I like the way they undid the 12 regenerations. They just gave him more. Here you go, Doctor. Here's unlimited regenerations. Yay. And then that was able to give us a lot of garbage Doctor Who after that. But I do like the 12th Doctor. But after that, it got really garbage. Anyway, not here. This was great. The problem is that there's so much going on. So the Black Guardian has recruited Turlough, who's also an alien who's been stuck on Earth. He's recruited him to sabotage and kill the Doctor. So we've got the plot of the aliens, whose Mawdryn is like sort of the leader of those guys. So we have the plot of him, got the plot of Turlough trying to mess this up, and then there's this whole time split where Tegan, Nyssa, and younger Brigadier are like in the 70s, and then you've got older Brigadier and the Doctor and Turlough in the 80s and whatever the years were, and it's a total mess. The 2 Brigadiers can't collide because that'll cause a catastrophic event. It's just a complete mess. It's a time mess, and I love every second of it. Pacing 2 out of 2. Where is this review going? I'm not sure. We'll see. Look, I loved it. I was not bored. I was complete. Dude, we're watching episode 1. I was like, oh man, yeah. Now this might be only the 2nd or 3rd time I'm seeing this. I can't remember. We watched all of them on DVD when we first got them, and I'm not sure if we revisited these. I remember when I first watched Peter Davison, I thought, wow, his run, because a lot of people don't talk about Peter Davison as much. It's sort of like Tom Baker's clearly, you're kind of your champion Doctor. And then people are like, well, I really like David Tennant. There's some good stuff there. I like Matt Smith. He was fun. A lot of people like the 2nd Doctor. That was sort of, he was an important one because if he doesn't work, if Patrick Troughton doesn't work, the show tanks. Because, yeah, First Doctor is the First Doctor. That's the show. Once William Hartnell leaves, and I love William Hartnell. I love them all, really, the 12 of them. And then we got Patrick Troughton, you're like, well, now what's going to happen, right? So he's important. So a lot of these are sort of your top Doctors. Peter Davison doesn't come up too often. Colin Baker doesn't come up too often, even though I love Colin Baker. Pertwee does come up often, and he's kind of my personal kind of favorite if I have to pick something, but I don't like ranking them. Pete Davidson is kind of like, yeah, he was pretty good, and then that's but his run is fantastic. So, like, I mean, rewatching it again now with critical eyes. When I first watched it, I watched it as a fun show, and I thought, wow, Peter Davidson's run is quite good. Like, almost every episode, almost every story is very good. Watching it now, critical, taking notes and stuff, it's just been fantastic. So this episode for sure. Artistry, I'm going to give it a 2. Now, I did watch the upgraded effects version on the Blu-ray, because why did I buy the Blu-ray if I'm not going to watch the updated effects? I don't think they ruin anything. I don't think it insults the show. Sometimes they do stuff like with the Star Wars, like with Return of the Jedi, they added all this nonsense like dance sequences. You're like, why is this in this movie? They don't do that kind of stuff with Doctor Who. They just enhance what's already there. Looks pretty good. I could tell even without those enhancements, the sets were nice. There's many different locations. There's actual locations. There's sets. I like that. It makes it feel like the story is bigger, right? There's the school. There's like sort of the field. There's like a pod. There's like this transport pod. There's a ship. There's a TARDIS, of course. Then sometimes the TARDIS is in that other ship. There's a ship coming from space, going to crash into the TARDIS. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's lots of little optical effects and illusions and stuff. Makeup looks pretty good. Mawdryn looked pretty sick to me. There's a part where he's all burnt up. It's like the girls confuse him for the Doctor, which I did not confuse him. Like, that is not Peter Davison, but the girls did. But he's all burnt up, so the effect was supposed to be that he's so burnt up that they can't even tell who it is. Everything looked good. All right, characters, 2 out of 2. I love everybody in here. Tegan gets a little bit of a bad rap, saying, oh, she's kind of annoying. She was really only kind of annoying when she first came, and she's like, I want to go back to Heathrow. Pretty much from Pete Davison and on, like, she's been pretty solid. She was damn good in this one. I'll tell you right now. She's like, I don't trust this turtle guy. Check, you're right. This doctor, this Mawdryn guy is not the Doctor. This is a bunch of BS. Check, you're right. Kicking ass in this one. She's awesome. Nyssa, I always like Nyssa. She's very cool. She's wearing a new outfit in this one, so that's nice. I like that she tries on different outfits, and the Doctor's like, I don't care about you. So that's cool. She's really cool. But of course, we got the Brigadier, man. Number 1 best stand-up guy. You want someone to take into battle, that's the guy you're going to pick. You need someone to help take into battle, you're going to pick Brigadier. Guaranteed. He's the best. I just love the way he delivers all of his dialogue. The story with him not remembering because there's some sort of block on it, and then him slowly remembering. And even when the Doctor's like, he goes, oh, do you remember this person and that person? He says Tegan. He's like, oh, wait, no, you don't know who Tegan is because that's after I left you. And he's like, no, I know Tegan. She's that Australian chick, right? What? It's like, how do you know her? It's like, oh, she was here, 7 or 8 years ago, or whatever. It was 7 years ago. Whoa, it was so cool. And then he gets out of things on his own. He gets locked in this room and he breaks free. He's just the best. Pete Davison in this one, great. A little bit underrated. He was awesome in this. And the conflict of him saying, well, because eventually Tegan and Nyssa also get the disease in there, and he's like, well, what am I going to do? And he's like, okay, I'll give up my regenerations to help all these people. And he's just going to help them all out. Great stuff in this one. Of course, the enjoyment factor is a 2. I'm giving this a 10. I love this episode. Damn amazing. One of the best for Pete Davison from my memory. Obviously, we haven't got to Caves of Androzani. That'll be the last video I do. But he's had so many good ones. Man, I feel like I've been saying 9 and 10 on most of these videos. If someone remembers, you can go back and look. Literally, I think it's like, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Maybe I think there's 1 or 2 where it was like maybe like a 7, 1 or 2 maybe. Even 7 is still pretty good, but like some of them have been stellar. Like, I would recommend, if you're getting into Doctor Who, I'd recommend grabbing the Pete Davison. There's 2 Blu-rays out right now. There's only going to be 1 more. So once that comes out, I would recommend grabbing these three. I know you can start with Tom Baker, which is where a lot of people started. I started with John Pertwee when I started my first initial run. Then I went back and watched 1 and 2, and I didn't. That wasn't because they were in black and white or something weird. That was because they weren't available. I was like, I want to watch a continuous run of Doctor Who, and basically from Spearhead and on, all of those stories were not compromised. They're all there. So I was able to watch them all from Spearhead all the way up through it to including Jodie, to including Ncuti. I've seen everything. And then when I had caught up to the show around Matt Smith time, I'd caught up to, because we were watching more than that was coming out. Then we went back and I bought all the DVDs that were available for the first and second Doctors. Which wasn't every story, but whatever. So we watched whatever's available on DVD. Now I've seen everything that there is. So Pete Davison, a bit underrated. He's awesome. There you go. Guys, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the other Doctor Who stuff. Let me know what you thought of this one. Am I crazy? Because this one's like a 10, easy. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Until next time.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man. And he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.